Hello, welcome back to the Daily Increment. I am Daniel Susser, Agile Coach, and today we're going to be talking about arguably the most important part of Scrum and the final piece in the puzzle, the roles, the people. Who are the people in the team? And Scrum recognises 3 roles, and I'm going to give you a sort of optional 4th down there if you're so interested. So let's start. The first and probably most important group, although they're all important, is the team. In Scrum, the team refers to the people who do the work. Whatever the work is, they get the status of the team. They're the ones that actually get the items from the product backlog onto the sprint backlog. And if these are new words, check out my earlier videos on what those things mean. But the team are the ones that actually do the stuff. A couple of words about the team in Scrum. They are one unit. And the idea is that in a Scrum team, in an ideal Scrum team, you have T-shaped people. What do we mean by T-shaped? Get my pen. That they might have a deep specialty, a thing that they're really good at and they really enjoy doing, but they also have a load of breadth as well, and they can lend their hand to lots of tasks. This doesn't mean that everyone in a Scrum team has to do everything, but it means that most of the people can do most of the things. The reason why that's important is because in Scrum you want to get the whole team to focus on what's important and to be able to change what they're doing and get the most important things done as a matter of priority. If your team is limited by who's allowed to look at which work and who's only skilled in which work, then it means that it makes it harder to get the important things done, because you might have person X working on the 5 most important valuable things for the team, and person Y working on something that they can look at but is not actually that important, whereas it would be better to have them helping person X to finish their work because it's the most valuable to the team. So that's an important part of the team. The next role in Scrum is the product owner. Now, the product owner's job is to keep the product backlog in order of priority and to give the team clarity on what work they should do. So the product owner's job is to understand the business context, or understand the context of the team's work. If it's in a business, if it's in a charity, whatever. And to help the team get clarity on what's important by coming up with this product backlog consisting of items of value that could each be an increment. So the team are there to do the work. The team are there to work out how to do the work, and it's their job to be self-organized. And it's the product owner's job to give them steer on what to do. Now, that doesn't mean that the team doesn't get any say. The product owner can suggest something, and the team, in a good Scrum scenario, should be able to say, that's a terrible idea, here's a better alternative. And a good product owner will listen, because the team are the ones that are actually doing the work day to day. But the product owner's job is to make sure that the most valuable things are being done, and that there is clarity on what those things need to be. So if the product owner has an item in the backlog which is not clear, it's their job to give the team clarity on what that work is. And this is where the transparency, inspection, adaptation is useful. Because if you have a long non-Scrum, non-Agile project, the equivalent of the product owner, the person asking for the work at the beginning, might say, here's all my list of requirements. And then the team goes away and spends a year building the thing. And then at the end of the year, they say, here to the product owner, here is what we have, we've built it. And the product owner might say, that's wrong, that's not what I wanted. Whereas in Scrum, you have a finished increment, so you have the transparency on what is being worked on and what it looks like. You can therefore inspect it, and therefore you can adapt it if it's wrong. So remember, all these things are optimized for transparency, inspection, adaptation. The product owner's job is to talk to the 4th group, the stakeholders, and to understand what they need and communicate where the team is up to. And the 3rd role, which is the one that I take on in my teams, is the Scrum Master. Silly name, but it's the head job to help make this system work better. A Scrum Master is what they call in the Agile world a servant leader. So it's not someone telling the team this is how you improve. It's not someone who's there to lead by decree. The Scrum Master is there to help the team out by serving them when they need to and leading them when they need it. A good Scrum Master should be doing some coaching and talking to the individual members of the team and to help them understand their place in it and help them develop. But what a Scrum Master does not do traditionally is care about the what. That's the product owner. The product owner should be looking at what's valuable and what's worth doing. The Scrum Master is there to help this whole system work well. So if the team are not understanding the product backlog or the product owner is struggling to get items into a product backlog, the Scrum Master can help with that. If the team are struggling to understand what's going on or struggling to use the daily Scrum, the Scrum Master is there to maybe suggest a couple of ideas or to facilitate and make life easier for them. And the final group is the stakeholders. Stakeholders are people who care about the work and need to be informed. And in Scrum, they get to attend the sprint review, they get to look at an increment when it's done and then get satisfied that the team is progressing because they see finished things being done. And that's better for them than them having to wait for a long time. I'll go into more detail on each of these roles in due course. In the meantime, this is Scrum. This is the introduction to pretty much everything you need to know. I've missed out the Scrum values. Maybe I'll do those tomorrow. But this is the very basics. We'll go into more detail in the next ones. If you like this content, ask for more content. You can subscribe, you can like things, you can comment and say, I'd like more of that thing, or can you go into more detail on that? And I will try to oblige. Have a wonderful evening. Or morning, whenever you're watching it. Bye.